Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that helps you become your best self. And today we're talking about stop focusing on your limitations. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on both Instagram and TikTok, and I would love to chat with you and connect with you there. If you would rather, you can send me an email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, all of the things, I would love to hear from you there. If you have a topic suggestion and you do not want to tell me directly and you'd rather do it anonymously, if you look in the show notes below, there will be a link for you to submit a topic suggestion anonymously. Another anonymous form that you can use in the show notes below is to submit a venting session. So if you do not have someone in your life that is emotionally available to hear you vent about what's going on in your life, or you just don't have anyone you can trust at all, there is a link for you to, again, submit a vent session anonymously. I will not know who it is that is submitting, but I do look in there once a week and I just pray over those things and then hope the best for what you're going through. So if you need that, there's that as well. Also signing up for the weekly newsletter that comes out every Wednesday, sometime during that day, usually late afternoon, evening time. It just depends, but it comes out uh, usually every Wednesday. It's a weekly newsletter. I have missed. It came out last week, and then I missed 2 weeks before that. But we're not all perfect. So anyway, weekly newsletter, and yeah. So just look in the show notes below. There's all kinds of links for all of the things you may be interested in. There is a planner. My first debut product is coming out soon, so there's a link down there for you to RSVP. There's no money commitment there. It's just really you signing up to be alerted of the date that it will be available for sale and to get more information on it coming out. So that's it. So check all that out. Let's go ahead and just jump into today's topic, which again is stop focusing on your limitations. So, me personally, I am stubborn in the fact that I get so focused on conquering what is in my way. And it's just I know I can do it. My brain is telling me I can do it. But not just because it's in the way of what I'm trying to do, accomplish, if it's a goal or a dream or desire or whatever. But so not just because of what I'm trying to do, but because I'm fueled by bitterness. The bitterness and the want that I want the satisfaction of knowing that I got through it. And I'm bitter because if it's taken me a long time to be able to push through those limitations, we're getting frustrated, we're getting bitter, we're getting angry. It's going to be some negative emotions, right? For sure. It's going to be high tension. And also, I want to be prideful. And I want to tell everyone I got through it on my own and in whatever way because it makes me look good, right? And I'm sure you're listening to this and you're like, really? Really? And I feel yeah, deep down inside, there are times where I am faced with a limitation and I want to be able to do it all on my own. And I want people to clap and I want people to be like, wow, Sabrina, you did that all on your own. Good job. Even though I know that this is not the way at all to go about any of this. And I feel more often than not, I do avoid this, but I'm not going to lie to you. There are often times where I will feel this inside my mind, inside my heart. It just doesn't transpose outside of it. So I'm not actually actively showing people that I'm bitter or needing to have people validate the fact that I was able to accomplish and push through this limitation on my own, but it's there in my mindset. And so if you also deal with that, then just know that it's normal. It's a regular thing, right? And it's okay to have these varying emotions, regardless of whether you actually act on these things. If they're still there, they're still contributing to your overall mindset and how you live your life and how you deal with different struggles and setbacks. So it's just important. I wanted to be really vulnerable with you as always and tell you, yes, sometimes I can be so stubborn about the limitations that I just want all of this ridiculousness, despite the fact that I know it's not the best way to go about it. A lot of times, that's just where we are. And in regards to limitations, these can feel like big, tall brick walls that are getting in your way of getting what you want, right? And it feels like you can't scale the wall and you can't go around it and you can't bulldoze through it. But that's because you were focusing so hard on that specific limitation and not widening your perspective to what else can be done. And so a limitation could be really anything that is limiting you and preventing you from achieving, going after a goal, a dream, or whatever, or doing something that you would want to do. So that could be like a physical limitations where literally, there is something that you need to be able to do. Like, let's say you want to run a triathlon, or not, you want to do a triathlon rather, and you don't know how to swim. That would be my issue. I've taken swim lesson before, but only enough to just not drown in the ocean. But to actually swim somewhere, no, absolutely not. And so, not knowing how to swim would be a limitation for me. And that would be a limitation because I don't know how to do it. But then also, that would be coupled with my mindset of like, well, I've tried to learn how to swim before and it didn't work out very well. And it looks like I can't do this thing, even though my dream would be to compete in a triathlon because it just feels so awesome and cool to accomplish that. And maybe that was coupled with other athletic goals and achievements that I've hit. That's just a random example. I have no intention or desire to compete in a triathlon, but it was like the first one that came to mind for me to be able to easily name something that would be a limitation. So the limitation could be something physical like that, but it could also be someone that is literally telling you like no, or like in a way like holding you back and preventing you from moving forward in this thing that you want to do or get or achieve. Or it could just be a mental block where you're telling yourself it's like a self limiting thing where you're like, I can't do this because of yada yada excuses, not reasons, excuses. So limitations can vary in the way that they are, and I just wanted to make sure that that is very clear. So when I'm talking about limitations, it is a large catalog, vast majority of different things that it could be. And here here is a piece of, very, I don't know how else to say it. It's just going to be like a truth bomb for you. So you're only limited to what you limit yourself to. You're only limited to what you limit yourself to. Now, yes, there are going to be some things where people are like telling you no, but even then, sometimes, it's like, okay, you're limiting yourself because they said that you're limited, but really, is there another way? And I know there will be, for sure, like confirmed. There will be some things that you won't be able to do because you're not equipped or skilled yet, right? You want to climb the side of a mountain. You don't know how. You don't know how to do that. So that is a limitation that you still don't know how to do it yet. You just can't. You just can't do that one. You can't break through that one unless you learn how to scale a wall, like scale a rock wall and climb it and be safe and do all those things, right? Okay, sure. So that you're not equipped or skilled yet, or you have the necessary help to do it. So let's say that it is some sort of, thing that you need a partner to help you or a friend or whatever help you do it. You just haven't gotten the assistance yet. Okay, fine. You just can't do it until you figure that part out, right? But besides the thing that you actually cannot do, like where there are actual limitations that you cannot move forward with until you figure out how to accomplish those things, you're only putting limits on yourself, self imposed limits. And I have to say it like that because, most of the time we are not exhausting every option we have to achieve or to accomplish or obtain something that we want, to move forward and to advance to the next level in this goal, in this journey in our life, whatever it is, right? We're not pressing the limits. Some people are. Obviously, this is like can't be super general. It's like a more of a generalization. And I can acknowledge that there are people that are like continuously moving forward and doing everything they can. But I would say the majority of us are not doing that. We are not exhausting every option. We give up after the first setback or only try one or two things more to push through before telling ourselves we have done everything we can do, which isn't really true. I would say that it's just not true. Like, we haven't done everything we can do. We've done some of the things we can do, but not everything. We give up so prematurely because we are too close to the limitation to really see anything else beyond it. So we're like, oh, I cannot do this because I don't believe that I will succeed, or this person is saying that I can't, or I need to obtain this certain like piece of knowledge and like, ability, clearance, whatever, experience. But we're just prematurely giving up, you know? We're just too close to it. We're like, nope, We can't do it. We've done it all when you really haven't done it all. Because we get so consumed in battling that one thing in only a few specific ways that it blocks out any other opportunities you could see for other options on how to break through, push through, move forward through that limitation that's on our life. But let's also not forget our best friend, fear of failure. Ooh, this one just gets in the nooks and crannies of like everything in our life. It's so annoying. I'm sure you would agree. But, this fear of failure can trap even the smartest people, like crazy intelligence. And so it can trap them and those that have so much potential to do great things because it can be so crippling. The fear of failure is so overwhelmingly crippling. You just don't know like what is going to happen when you try. So you don't try, so you can't be upset or disappointed or embarrassed or labeled as a failure to other people. Like all of that really sucks, right? It's just not fun at all. However, you know, it's just like you don't want to be labeled as a failure. You don't want to go through all these hard things. They're really uncomfortable. They're not cool, right? You'd rather just let it cripple you down and just be like, whatever. But if you're a regular listener, you know what I'm about to say. You do. You know what I'm about to say. Mistakes and failures are one of the best learning lessons. They're one of the best ways to learn. I feel like I say it almost every episode. It's crazy. I don't know how it fits all into every single teaching that I do, but it just does. But yeah, mistakes and failures are one of the best learning lessons. We just have to keep getting comfortable with experiencing these things because it's just something that happens in life. We'll continue to go through different periods and seasons in our life where we will experience mistakes and failures. We'll go through those things. We'll be able to reflect back and see what went wrong, what should change, what knowledge needs to be taken moving forward. Leave all the baggage behind, take the knowledge with us, and move forward through those mistakes and failures to the next step in your journey or whatever it is, right? But we have to keep getting comfortable. We have to keep getting comfortable. And you could hide in your comfort zone forever and do nothing that was ever any sort of like possibility that you would hit like a mistaken failure that would affect you. You could stay there forever, but you'll do nothing with your life. You'll do nothing because even the smallest step outside of your comfort zone will kind of like get you with something, whether it's a mistake or a failure or a struggle or a setback or something that's going to push you and cause you to grow and change in the best way, in whatever way you need to. But if you stay in that comfort zone, you'll do nothing. You'll do nothing with your life, nothing. And no one really wants that. People say they do because it sounds fun to do nothing and be lazy and be chill and not have to deal with all of this stuff. But you don't really want that in the deep of your core. You would like to have all the things you want to get without having to go through all that. And that's just not the reality of life. There are going to be seasons where things come really easily, and there are going to be seasons where things are really, 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 really difficult. And then there's going to be seasons in the middle where things just feel neutral and they're like hitting both sides a little bit. So it's important to really realize that you just can't. You can't live your comfort zone forever and expect anything to happen for your life to change. So let's chat. Nice transition, right? So let's chat about how we can stop focusing on our limitations and start seeing these situations more broadly with more possibilities. So here are 5 tips for you on how we can stop focusing so heartily, so negatively on our limitations. And when I say this, I also want to like preface with the fact that like it's the whole episode's like stop focusing like on your limitations like so hard, but also these tips will be like a way for you to reframe the way that you think of your limitations so you're not focusing on it in such a negative mindset, like this negative like outlook that nothing's ever going to come out of what you want or what you're trying to do. It's a more of a way to like reframe what's going on so that you can push through these things. And as always, here is my disclaimer that these tips and this advice is all based on my own knowledge, experience, and other people's experiences that I'm able to share with you. If you feel like these are none of these tips will help you, please, seek a counselor or a therapist that can help you. Maybe they can dive deeper into you very personally about what would be better for you and no longer like focusing and obsessing over our limitations. Or you can go to our other best friend, our good best friend, Google, and just type it in like how to stop focusing on your limitations and look through the knowledge that's available there on the interwebs. So, okay, let's jump right in. 5 tips for you in no particular order. Number 1, your past proves nothing. This is a tough one for me though. Like for reals, it's a tough one for me too. So your past proves nothing. Just because you couldn't do whatever it is in the past doesn't mean that you can't do it now. It doesn't. It's not like this like flowing energy that's like, oh, well, it did not work out here, so this is for eternity now. No, that's not what it means. Just because you couldn't do it in your past doesn't mean you can't do it now. So many things change over time. My husband and I have realized that in our lives, at least being together, there is a cadence of things being dramatically different every 2 years. Every 2 years of our life together, things are dramatically different. And that doesn't mean everything's going to change, but it means a lot of things have changed. And whether they've gotten better or worse, neutral, just shifted in different areas, things have changed. So many things change over time. You might not think anything has changed, though, just to be aware of that. But it's because you're you all the time, right? And if you're not actively looking for change in your life, you're not going to see it. So, you might ask someone else, like, hey, does it seem like my life has changed? Does it seem like I have changed in any way? But, information you have learned has increased. You've probably met new people. You've tried something a little bit different, maybe not vastly, like grossly different, but a little bit. You've experienced new struggles and setbacks for sure, and maybe even worked on your mindset a bit, right? And I'm not saying that the cadence for you, examining what's different has to be like 2 years. That just is the average that we've found for our lives right now. But even like reflecting back a year, all of these things can be true, right? So, in any case, your past doesn't prove you can't do something. It only proves that you couldn't or weren't ready to do it then. So, not just you couldn't, maybe you weren't ready, maybe it just wasn't the time to do it then and get another change to try it now, right? So, you get another chance to try it right now, and that is awesome because there's it's kind of like redemption. But I know it doesn't feel that way because you're like, oh no, it didn't work out then. It definitely could work out now in a better way than you had ever expected. So don't let your past experiences be an excuse because that's what it would be. It'd be an excuse, not a reason, not a real reason. And this also applies to things that you've never done before too. So if you're like, oh, I've never started a business, I couldn't possibly do it. No. How do you know? You've never tried. And even again, if you tried in the past, things have changed. So you should try again. Don't let those things be excuses in your life. Number 2, be comfortable doing things differently. I do not like this one. I do not. I am kind of annoying where I kind of get set in my ways. I'm very aware of this, so I try my hardest to not let this happen. Or if someone does try to do something differently, I have to really push myself to not be a brat about it. And she'd be like, "Yeah, totally. Let's try it your way. Cool. I'm cool. I'm chill. I'm flexible, even though secretly I'm not. I try really hard to be though, and it's difficult. So, and it's because I deal with like control issues as well. So, if you were similar to me, yeah, being comfortable doing things different, it's really gonna suck. It's gonna be hard, but it's necessary. So you may be struggling with seeing a different way to go about your situation because you're doing it the same way you always do. And that's really comfortable. It's really easy. You know it back and front. There is less likely to be any sort of surprise things that could happen. And if there are problems that happen, you are very versed in the problems that are related to that. So you feel confident being able to take those on rather than jumping into something new and being like, I don't know how to solve this problem. I have to do a lot more effort to figure it out. And that's a big part of it. You don't want to put the effort in. So you need to think outside the box though. You got to be comfortable doing things differently and give some new method to try, right? Try it a little differently. Let's say that you are putting together a presentation for a work or something and you want to do it the specific way you do and someone that you have to partner up with is like, "Oh, why don't you just do it this way?" And you're like, "Because I've been doing it this way for like 20 years or whatever." Dramatic number. And I mean, that's not dramatic if it's true, but that would be dramatic for me. But uh just be like, "Yeah, I've been doing it for this long." And they're like, "Well, have you tried this? It's really cool. It's really new. It's really different." And they're like, "Oh, no." Or you're like, "No, but yes, I should." So you should. You try it out. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, right? Some will work, some won't. But you just need to try a few until you find one that feels best to you. So, whatever you're trying to do and accomplish, be comfortable doing things differently because it might actually be more efficient and easier and more helpful in any sort of like feedback or knowledge or anything that could be provided at the end, or the total experience could be even better than what you have previously experienced. We can't live our whole life just doing things that are easy and comfortable. That's just not how it goes. Number 3, find someone that has succeeded in doing what you want to do and get advice. Find someone that has succeeded in doing what you want to do and get advice. This isn't necessarily like a mentor. I want to say that like from the jump. It could be, but let's say that you wanted to become a pilot, right? And you've tried to look online for any information on how, like, what's the first things you should start learning. Yeah, are there any good, like, little air pilot academies nearby? Any planes that you can actually fly nearby? Figuring out all of the, excuse me, I'm sorry, guys, figuring out all the necessary knowledge that you would need to become a pilot and really trying to figure it out. And let's say that you just come to a dead end, you can't find information that's helpful. You might want to reach out to someone and you feel like your limitation is finding the information or finding a good school or finding anyone that will talk to you about it because maybe it's like, I don't know, I don't really know if it's one of those industries where it's kind of like knowledge is gatekept and things like that. I do not know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying maybe that's your limitation though. And so you reach out and you find someone that maybe knows someone that is a pilot that could like give you a rundown of their experience or what you should do or any advice that you need, right? And I do want to say advice lightly because you need to recognize that whatever they say is only advice and not a directive. Only advice, not a directive, not absolute directions, not things that you have to do or you're obligated to do. Now, maybe in their list of tips, there are things that you have to do before you can do this next thing, but still, in the whole, like, you know, I don't know, circle, like vat of knowledge that the hair are providing to you, it's still only a directive. You may have like the same desire of what to achieve as they do, but you're still going to end up doing it differently because you're a different person. So let's say they went after certain certifications and you're like, oh, I don't really want those unless I have to get them, but I then want to get different ones because you're a different person. So just because you are similar in what you are going after to accomplish does not mean that it's going to be exactly the same, right? But I want you to chat them up and figure out if they encountered like the same limitations that you currently have, whether it's like a physical, like literally you can't, no one will talk to you on the phone and no one will call you back, or they'll be telling you no, they don't have room in the program. Or it's like mental, it's really you telling yourself that you can't do it, or you've had a mishap in the past and that's going to prevent you from doing a good job, this, that, and the other. And then figure out how that knowledge can factor into your own plans. So it's like you want to kind of like go through and pick and take what this person has told you about this thing that you want to achieve and the limitations and all that stuff, yada, yada, all of those things, and then figure out how that can factor into your own plans and be able to move forward in pushing back those limitations. Maybe the way they did, maybe in a combo way that you would want to and they did, or whatever the case may be. So definitely find someone that has succeeded in doing what you want to do and get that advice. Number 4, what are you gonna learn? What are you gonna learn? This might not sound as fun, but it's important, right? Learning isn't always fun. I enjoy it, but sometimes it can be boring and sometimes it can be like frustrating because it's like not what you want to do right then. But this is important. So, what are you going to learn? You will get through many struggles and setbacks in your life when you take a moment to consider what you are supposed to be learning through this experience. And I mean it because, like, there's times where my husband and I, will stop and be like, what are we supposed to be learning right now? Like, why are things so hard? Why is this so difficult? What are the issues here? What's the problem, right? It's like, well, what are we supposed to be learning? Are we supposed to be learning patience or some sort of like, version of due diligence or what's happening here, right? So, you really want to consider that you are supposed to be learning something in this situation, which is why it is feeling more difficult than maybe you expected it to, or maybe it was before. And whether it's limitations put on by the task, or again, it's a self-limiting one because of like fear or lack of belief in yourself, you can take a beat to ask yourself what you could be learning through all of this. Take a beat, take a moment, and be like, okay, you know, what am I supposed to be learning from this? What am I supposed to be gathering? What am I supposed to be figuring out? Am I supposed to be figuring out like new context to contact or context to contact? Context to contact. That is so silly. No, I'm talking about like it would be people to call, people to meet with, people to ask questions of, right? And, really need to figure out maybe you need to go about it a different way. Maybe you need to go through mistakes because that will give you a better direction of what will not work and what will work in whatever the situation is that you're in. So really take that moment and be like, what am I learning right now? Ask yourself this question. Asking yourself this question will prompt you to think of it in a different way and shift your perspective, which is so, so helpful. You're like, well, am I supposed to be learning this? Well, how am I supposed to be learning this when this is happening? But wait, maybe it's because this and this is happening, right? You're really kind of breaking it down and being able to see it from a different perspective and understand, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to learn. This is the reason this is happening. Oh, okay. And you probably won't be able to figure out every single thing. I'm definitely not promising that or anything of the like, but it'll just help you better understand what you're learning. And that can make it a lot easier for you to like move through and push through those limitations because you're like, oh, I am dealing with this struggle so much because I need to learn this thing. So let me figure out how I can learn this thing better. And then I will be able to break down those limitations that are in front of me quicker, easier, with more focus and direction, whatever it is. So if you're supposed, like an example that I wrote was, if you're supposed to be learning how to stand up for yourself because your limitation is someone telling you no or saying you can't, then start figuring out how you can do that, how you can start standing up for yourself and advocating for yourself so that you can get the things that you want. But yeah, what are you going to learn? Ask yourself that question, figure it out. It will help you so much in so many things in your life. Anytime a setback or problem comes, be like, okay, what can I learn? What am I supposed to learn? Let's figure that out because it'll make this more useful than just being miserable, to be honest. Okay, number 5, and the last one I have for you today is ask yourself why and go down that rabbit hole of thinking. Ask yourself why and go down that rabbit hole of thinking. So ask yourself why you can't do something. Like, really ask yourself, uber honest, very honest with yourself. Why is this thing a limitation for me? What mindsets have led me to believe it's a limitation, you know? Does anyone else agree it's a limit for me? That's if you have people that you can ask that would be able to appropriately answer that question based on observation and knowing you. Could I change the goal, idea, or dream a bit and still be satisfied? Do I need to tweak it a little bit because I just initially said it and it's changing, it's evolving over time? Do I need to? Could I change it? It's just really, 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 really times a million times completely important for you to be absolutely honest with yourself, to figure out the root cause of where this limitation came from and why it's holding you captive, right? It's like, okay, well, why can't I do this triathlon? Because I don't know how to swim, right? Well, why is this a limitation for me? Because I never learned when I grew up, and then learning as an adult feels more difficult because I'm more tuned in to the anxiety that I have of drowning in open water. And it's very difficult. Does anyone else agree it's a limit for me? I feel like if I did ask myself that question, the answer would be yes. My husband believes that that is a limit for me because I don't know how to swim and you need to know how. And the next one is, could I change the goal, idea, dream a bit and still be satisfied? Okay, well, I don't feel like there's much you can do in a triathlon. Maybe it's like you could change like the way that you get swim training if that's what I decide to do. Maybe I need to get like a private coach to teach me how to swim so I feel more confident and more of the time and focus is spent on me learning how to swim rather than like 5 or 6 other adults, which yes, I have been to an adult swim class. Yes, many times. It's a hoot and a holler, I'll tell you that. But yeah, so could you change it? Could you shift it a little bit? Could I shift my triathlon thing? Yeah, I could get a different coach. Or maybe it's like, okay, well, maybe I don't do a triathlon. Maybe I just do like a marathon, or maybe I do like a bike race. Maybe that's more fit for me to do, and I could do those two things individually rather than trying to do all three of them, especially when one of them includes something that I don't know how to do and I do struggle to learn. That's honest for me. I do struggle to learn how to swim. I've tried it many times and it's just, I don't know why it's difficult. It just is. But it doesn't make me give up. If I really wanted to do that, I would be like, okay, swim lessons twice a week. Let's do this for however long and then we can do it. But yeah, so does anyone else agree it's a limit? Can you change the goal, dream, idea and still be satisfied? Just be completely honest with yourself and be like, okay, why? And why is this holding you captive? It's because I'm afraid of drowning in the water and I have to get over the fear of drowning and believe that I am able to at least float at the minimum if I do get scared and have to stop swimming. And then I will feel okay going in the water and trying to figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, I'll just float away and it'll all be fine. So ask yourself why and go down that rabbit hole of thinking and questioning of yourself of why is this a limitation? What's the deal? What's going on? What can I change? What needs to stay the same? What needs to shift? How can we see this differently? How can we do this so it works really well for us? But that's all I have. That's all 5 tips I have for you today on how to stop focusing on our limitations so closely. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. Thank you for listening, downloading, sharing the show, giving the show reviews on like Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google and all those places. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Check the show notes below again for signing up for the weekly newsletter. Come saying hi to me on socials, submitting an anonymous topic suggestion, anonymous vent session, RSVP for the planner that's coming out. Check out Instagram stories because I'm talking about the planner there often, and anything else that's down there in the show notes below. But until next time, have a good one, and I will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye.